Welcome back, coin enthusiasts. In today's video we are diving into some of the most valuable ultra-rare 1 cent coins that have taken the world of numismatics by storm. These seemingly humble pennies are worth far more than their face value. We'll be talking about the rarest and most sought-after 1 cent coins from the years 1984, 1987, 1995, 1996, 1997, and 1999. So if you're a collector or just curious about what makes these pennies so special, stay tuned. The 1984 United States 1 cent coin, specifically one in very fine condition. So if you've ever wondered if that random penny from the 80s is worth more than just 1 cent, stick around because this could be the coin that surprises you. Now, before we jump into the details about why a .1984 penny in very fine condition could be incredibly valuable, let's first give a little context about the coin itself. The 1984 penny, like all modern US 1 cent coins, features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner. This design has been in place since 1909, and it commemorates Lincoln's 100th birthday. The reverse side, however, has changed over the years. For most of the 1980s, the penny featured the Lincoln Memorial, another iconic symbol of US history, which was used from 1959 until 2008. 1984 was an interesting year for coin collectors because it was a time when the US Mint was trying to keep up with the growing demand for coins during the 1980s economic boom, so there was a large mintage of these coins that year, making them common and readily available for circulation. But before we dismiss it as just another ordinary penny, there are some key things we need to consider. After all, most pennies are worth just 1 cent, right? Well, yes, they are generally worth face value. However, the real value of a coin depends on a variety of factors, such as its condition, rarity, and any potential unique features that it might have. When it comes to the 1984 penny, the most important factor to consider is its condition. In the world of numismatics, the condition of a coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from poor to mint state, with a variety of grades in between, such as very fine and extremely fine. Coins in very fine condition are ones that have experienced wear but still retain a significant amount of detail. They should have clear images of Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial, and the surrounding inscriptions. Any scratches, discoloration, or damage will lower the coin's grade, and as a result its value. In the case of the 1984 penny, while the mintage was high, there are still collectors who are willing to pay a premium for one in excellent condition. Specifically, a 1984 penny in very fine condition could be worth much more than its face value of just 1 cent, depending on the exact condition and any other specific factors, such as whether the coin has any notable error. These pennies can fetch a price ranging from 25 cents to several dollars. Now, you may be wondering why this particular year has value. First off, while many of the pennies from the 1980s were produced in high numbers, most of them have not been kept in pristine condition. Coins that have survived nearly 4 decades without heavy wear or damage are relatively rare. The reality is that most coins, especially pennies, end up circulating for many years, getting scuffed, scratched, and losing their sharp details. So finding one that is in very fine condition means you're likely holding a piece of history that's aged well. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1984 penny on your hands? First off, get it properly graded. Grading a coin involves assessing its condition by an experienced numismatist, usually through a third-party service. Some of the most trusted grading companies are the Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Once graded, you can use the certification to determine its market value more accurately. If your coin is graded as very fine, then it could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to a bit more, depending on demand in the market. It's important to keep in mind that while the 1984 penny in very fine condition isn't going to make you rich, it can still be a nice addition to a collection and a potential source of profit if sold at the right time and through the right channels. You can sell your coin through various avenues, such as coin dealers, online auction sites like eBay, or specialized numismatic marketplaces. It's also worth mentioning that some 1984 pennies might be even more valuable if they have errors or unique features. Coin collectors are often on the lookout for coins that were struck incorrectly or have variations from the standard design. In the case of the 1984 penny, one of the more famous errors is the 1984 double die penny. This particular coin has a noticeable doubling effect on some of the letters in Liberty and in God We Trust on the obverse. If you happen to have one of these error coins, it could be worth significantly more than the standard 1984 penny. These rare error coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and rarity. But why does condition matter so much when it comes to the value of coins? Well, in the world of numismatics, collectors are always on the lookout for coins that show as much original detail as possible. Coins in poor condition are much less desirable, and they are worth only a fraction of their potential value if they were in better condition. Coins that are graded as very fine still have strong details such as Lincoln's facial features and the lines of the Lincoln Memorial, which make them much more desirable to collectors. The more you take care of your coin and protect it from further wear and tear, the better its chances are of retaining or even increasing its value over time. While the 1984 1-cent coin may seem like just another penny, one in very fine condition could be worth far more than you might expect. The combination of condition, rarity, and collector interest makes this particular coin one worth keeping an eye on. If you find one in great shape, it might just be a hidden gem waiting to be added to your collection, even sold for a tidy profit. The 1987 1-cent coin, often just called the penny. But as we all know, not all coins are created equal, and some hold value far beyond their face value. So why is the 1987 penny so special? And what makes the fine condition version of this coin stand out in the world of numismatics? Before we get into the details of its value, let's take a step back and explore the history of the penny itself. The United States 1-cent coin has been in circulation since 1793. And over the centuries its design has changed many times. The 1987 penny, however, may not have the rich historical significance of earlier editions, but it carries with it the legacy of the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, which was minted on the reverse side of the coin from 1959 until 2008. The obverse or front C of the 1987 penny still features Abraham Lincoln's portrait designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that's been around since 1909. Lincoln's image on the penny has become one of the most recognizable symbols of American currency, enduring the test of time while remaining a beloved piece of history. So what makes the 1987 penny so unique? Well, the answer lies in its condition and the rarity of certain variations that have emerged in the years following its minting. The 1987 penny in general is considered quite common in terms of the number of coins minted. In fact, the US Mint produced over 8 billion of them that year. But what truly elevates the value of some of these coins is the condition they are in. When we talk about fine condition, we are referring to a coin that shows some wear, but retains enough detail that it's still clearly recognizable as a mint coin. For a 1987 penny, a coin in fine condition would typically have sharp visible details in the design, though some slight wear may appear on the high points. It's not as pristine as a coin in uncirculated or mint state, but it is still an excellent example of its kind, with enough integrity to catch the eye of collectors. In the world of coin collecting, condition matters a great deal. A coin's value can increase exponentially when it's in better condition. A 1987 penny in fine condition could fetch anywhere from a few cents to a couple of dollars, but the true value lies in its rarity and the individual circumstances surrounding the coin. Now, while the 1987 penny is not one of the most valuable coins in the world, there are some noteworthy examples that have caught the attention of collectors. Some 1987 pennies have been found to have specific characteristics, like slight die errors or misstrikes, which make them incredibly rare and more valuable. For example, if a 1987 penny has an off-center strike, or any unusual minting flaws that could increase its market value considerably. These small imperfections, which would normally be seen as defects, can become a collector's dream. When they are rare enough, coins with these errors are often classified as error coins, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them sometimes. Even hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the extent of the error. And its rarity, a 1987 penny with a major error could become one of the most sought-after items for coin enthusiasts. Another factor that determines the value of a 1987 penny is its provenance. Some collectors are more interested in a coin's history, where it has been, and who has owned it. A 1987 penny, if it has been part of an important collection or was found in a significant historical context, might be worth much more than a similar coin that was simply collected for its condition alone. Coin auctions are another place where a 1987 penny could command more attention. Auction houses regularly deal with rare and valuable coins, and even something as common as a 1987 penny can sometimes attract surprising interest, especially if it has an error or is in pristine condition. Still, for most 1987 pennies that you might come across in your pocket change, the value remains fairly modest. But this doesn't mean they aren't worth keeping an eye out for. The world of numismatics is filled with unexpected treasures, and sometimes the most overlooked coins have hidden value waiting to be discovered. If you happen to stumble upon a 1987 penny in your collection or in a change jar, take a closer look. Check for any of those rare characteristics, wear patterns, error, or other distinguishing features that might give you an edge in the coin collecting world. In conclusion, while the 1987 penny in fine condition might not be worth a fortune on its own, it's a reminder of the rich history and endless possibilities within the world of coin collecting. Even the most ordinary coins can hold secrets, and sometimes those secrets can turn an everyday object into something far more valuable than anyone could imagine. The 1995 1-cent coin from the United States. You might think that all pennies are the same, but trust me, this one has a story to tell. So sit back, relax, and let's explore why the 1995 penny is so unique, especially in fine condition. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the beauty of this seemingly ordinary coin. It's just a penny, right? A simple 1-cent piece that's been around for over a century. But when you start digging into the history, the rarity, and the condition of certain coins, you'll realize that some pennies can be worth a lot more than their face value. To fully understand why the 1995 penny is so valuable, we need to take a step back and appreciate the history of the US 1-cent coin. First minted in 1793, the penny has seen many changes over the years, from its original large size to the modern-day copper-plated zinc composition we know today. The penny is iconic, especially for its design, which has featured the image of Abraham Lincoln since 1909. The 1995 penny, like most pennies minted after the 1980s, was made primarily from copper-plated zinc. These coins weren't exactly rare when they were released into circulation, but certain years like 1995 became the center of attention in the coin collecting community, especially when fine condition specimens became more scarce as time passed. Let's break down the features of the 1995 penny. Like all pennies minted after 1909, the obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image is one of the most enduring symbols of the United States, making this coin particularly iconic. On the reverse, you'll find the traditional Union shield design with the words E pluribus unum and 1 cent written on the outer edge, symbolizing unity and the country's values. But here's where things start to get interesting. The 1995 penny is part of a large mintage series, meaning that the US Mint produced millions of these coins that year, so initially you wouldn't expect it to be especially valuable, but over time, as fewer and fewer pristine specimens have survived in circulation, certain ones have become sought after by collectors. One of the key elements in determining the value of any coin is its condition. This is known as coin grading, and it plays a huge role in how much a coin is worth. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect, and anything below that representing some form of wear and tear. For a coin to be considered fine condition, it means the coin has clear details and has been well preserved with only minor wear. In the case of the 1995 penny, a fine grade typically means the coin has sharp features, a readable date, and relatively smooth surfaces without any major damage. Coins in this condition, especially if they have been kept in excellent storage, can be much more valuable than their worn-out counterparts. Now, if you've been following the conversation so far, you might be wondering, is this 1995 penny really that special? Well, it is if you're lucky enough to have the rare double die version of the 1995 penny. You see, in some cases coins are struck with an error during the minting process. One such error is a double die where the design elements are unintentionally double due to a misalignment during the striking process. In the case of the 1995 penny, the double die error typically appears in the letters of the word Liberty and the date. These doubled features can be seen clearly when you look closely at the coin, and they are what make the 1995 double die penny one of the most coveted items in the world of coin collectors. Now let's talk numbers. A regular 1995 penny in fine condition might only be worth a few cents more than its face value, maybe a dollar or two at most. However, when we talk about the 1995 doubled die penny, things change dramatically. These coins can be worth hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars, depending on their exact condition and how rare the doubling error is. For example, a 1995 double die penny in fine condition has been known to sell at auction for anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000, with high quality specimens fetching even more. Collectors search for these coins in mint condition because the doubling effect is so rare and distinctive. If you believe you have a 1995 double die penny, it's important to carefully examine the coin. Use magnification to inspect the letters and numbers for any signs of doubling. If you find any, that's a great indicator you might have something truly special on your hands. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, it's always worth keeping an eye on the 1995 penny. While a fine condition 1-cent coin might not make you rich, you could be lucky enough to find a valuable double die penny hidden in your pocket change. The 1996 1-cent coin, a penny that has captured the interest of collectors and numismatists alike. First, let's talk about what makes a penny valuable in the first place. Most of us are familiar with the standard Lincoln Memorial penny, which has been in circulation since 1959. While they are a regular part of our daily lives, pennies rarely carry any value beyond their face value of 1 cent. However, certain factors can cause a coin to become worth far more than what it was originally minted for. These factors include rarity, condition, and unique characteristics that set the coin apart from the rest. Now, the 1996 penny is an interesting case. It's not particularly rare compared to some other coins, but it has one key distinction that makes it stand out. To understand why this penny is worth so much, we need to look at the way it was produced and the rarity of certain minting errors. The US Mint produces billions of pennies each year, and most of these coins are mass-produced with little attention to detail. However, in some years, specific minting errors or unique variations occur, and those coins can be highly sought after by collectors. The 1996 penny in fine condition is considered valuable because it's a coin that was produced during a period of transition for US coinage. In 1996, there was some interesting things happening in the minting process. At the time, the US Mint was transitioning between different forms of minting technologies, and while most of the coins produced during this year were standard, certain pennies were minted with slightly different characteristics or features that make them stand out. One such example is the 1996 penny that was struck with slightly more clarity, sharpness, and detail than others of its kind. One of the most important factors when evaluating a coin's value is its condition, and this is where the 1996 penny truly shines. A fine condition coin means that the penny is well preserved, with minimal wear and tear. Fine condition doesn't mean perfect, however, it does imply that the coin has retained a considerable amount of its original detail and hasn't been overly damaged by wear, scratches, or environmental factors. This level of preservation is key for the 1996 penny, as coins that remain in fine condition are much rarer than those that have been worn down over time. Coin collectors and numismatists use a system called the coin grading scale to assess the condition of a coin. This scale ranges from poor to mint state, and it's based on the clarity of the design, the amount of wear, and the overall preservation of the coin. A 1996 penny in fine condition would likely fall into the fine or very fine category, which is still an excellent grade for a penny of that age. It means that the details are still sharp, but some slight wear is visible on the high points of the design, such as the features of Abraham Lincoln's portrait. So, how much can you expect to get for a 1996 penny in fine condition? While the typical 1996 penny might only be worth its face value 1 cent, those that are in excellent condition or have unique characteristics can be worth far more. In fact, a 1996 penny in fine condition has been known to fetch anywhere from $5 to $20 at auction, depending on the demand and the specific market conditions at the time of the sale. While this might not sound like a fortune for a coin that was originally worth just 1 cent, this is a significant markup. But what about the really rare ones? The pennies that have never seen circulation, or those that were minted with certain errors. Now those can go for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. And that's where the true excitement for collectors lies, the hunt for that perfect rare find. In the world of numismatics, rare coins with minting errors are often worth more than their pristine counterparts. For example, there are 1996 pennies that were struck with double dies, or ones that had off-center strikes creating errors in the design. These types of minting mistakes are extremely valuable to collectors because they are one of a kind and show the unique history of the coin's production. If you happen to stumble across a 1996 penny with a minting error, you could be holding something worth far more than a few dollars in the end. The value of a coin like the 1996 1-cent penny is a reflection of many factors: its condition, its rarity, and its historical significance. While most of us will continue to see pennies as little more than pocket change, for those who are passionate about coin collecting, every coin tells a story. The 1996 penny in fine condition is a small but significant piece of that story, reminding us that even the most humble coins can hold incredible value.
The 1997 penny. While you might be surprised to hear that a 1997 penny could be worth significantly more than its face value of just 1 cent, let me assure you that there's much more to this coin than meets the eye. In this video, we'll explore why this penny in fine condition could be worth so much, what makes it stand out in the world of numismatics, and how you can potentially find one in your own collection or everyday pocket change. At first glance, a 1997 penny might seem like any other coin you'd encounter in your daily life. After all, it features the classic design with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The 1997 penny is made of copper-plated zinc, and it measures 19 millimeters in diameter and weighs to 0.5 grams, just like most modern pennies. So what could possibly make this specific penny worth more than just 1 cent? The answer lies in a few rare circumstances that make it stand out. The first thing to understand about the 1997 penny is that it wasn't minted in particularly limited numbers or under exceptional circumstances, but that doesn't mean there isn't a reason for collectors to be interested in this coin. In fact, the value of the 1997 penny lies not in the rarity of its production, but rather in certain anomalies that make a specific coin more desirable. So what are these factors? Well, there are several elements that can turn a seemingly ordinary 1997 penny into something extraordinary. The first key factor is the coin's condition. As with any coin, the grade or condition of the penny is incredibly important. A fine condition coin means that it has been well preserved and shows only minor signs of wear. There are different grading systems in numismatics, but for our purposes, when a penny is described as being in fine condition, it generally means that the coin has clear, well-defined details but may have some light scratches or signs of use. Coins in such condition are far more desirable than those in poor or worn condition, which is why they often fetch higher prices in the market. But the story doesn't end there. In addition to condition, collectors are always on the lookout for rare varieties of coins that were mistakenly produced during the minting process. For instance, certain pennies from the 1990s, while appearing at first glance to be normal, have unique traits that make them more valuable. One such variety is the 1997 double die penny, where the obverse design appears to have been struck twice, giving it a doubled effect. This type of error can make the coin much more valuable to collectors who specialize in finding these types of minting mistakes. Though the 1997 double-die penny is not extremely rare, it is certainly valuable to the right collector who is searching for such imperfections. Another factor that contributes to the value of a 1997 penny is its demand in the numismatic market. The popularity of coin collecting has skyrocketed in recent years, as more and more people have become interested in building their collections or finding rare and valuable coins to invest in. With this increased interest in pennies from the 1990s, the 1997 penny has caught the attention of many enthusiasts, driving up its value, especially for those in better conditions. Now that we've discussed the various factors that contribute to the value of the 1997 penny, you might be wondering what exactly makes it so special in the grand scheme of U.S. coinage. After all, pennies are among the most common and least expensive coins in circulation. The answer lies in the subtle combination of historical significance and numismatic interest. The 1997 penny is part of the modern era of U.S. coinage, and it represents a snapshot of American history at the tail end of the 20th century. While it might not be as rare as coins from earlier years, the 1997 penny marks a period of transition and change in U.S. currency. For instance, 1997 was the year that the U.S. Mint started making coins with a more modern approach to design, including clearer and sharper images on the penny's obverse and reverse. These small design changes, which are barely noticeable to the average person, have become important markers in the evolution of American coinage, making them desirable to collectors who want to track how these changes took place over time. Additionally, in the year 1997 marked the start of an era where coins like the penny would eventually face serious discussions about their value and necessity. In the decades that followed, there were many debates about whether the penny should continue to be minted due to rising production costs and diminishing purchasing power. Therefore, the 1997 penny represents a turning point in U.S. coin history, and as collectors look back on this time period, coins from this era gain additional significance. You might be wondering, where can you find these valuable 1997 pennies and how much are they worth? Well, as mentioned earlier, the price of a 1997 penny is largely influenced by its condition and whether it has any unique characteristics such as a minting error. On average, a 1997 penny in fine condition is typically worth anywhere between 10 to 50 cents, which is already a nice premium over its face value. However, if you find a 1997 double-die penny or one with an even rarer error, you could see prices reach upwards of several $100s, especially if the coin is graded as being in mint or in circulated condition. Finding such a penny might take a bit of lucky, but it's not impossible. Many collectors regularly search through rolls of pennies or old coins to find these hidden gems. The key is patience and a sharp eye. If you happen to have a 1997 penny in your collection, it's worth taking the time to carefully inspect it for any signs of rarity or imperfections. Getting the coin professionally graded can also help increase its value, as collectors are often willing to pay more for coins that have been authenticated and graded by experts. In conclusion, while a 1997 penny might seem like a regular coin, it holds a special place in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a passing interest in coins, understanding the factors that contribute to a coin's value can make all the difference when you're scouring through your pocket change or building your collection. The 1997 penny, particularly those in fine condition or with rare minting error, is a prime example of how even the most common coins can hold hidden value. The 1999 United States 1-cent coin. While most people think of a penny as just a small insignificant piece of currency, it's not just the value of the coin itself that can be remarkable. Some of these pennies, particularly those from specific years, can be worth much more than their face value, especially when they are in pristine condition. Today, we're going to dive deep into the story of the 1999 1-cent coin and why, in certain cases, it can be worth a fortune. The penny we're discussing here isn't just any ordinary 1999 penny. This coin must meet specific criteria, particularly in terms of its condition. When we talk about fine condition, we're not just referring to a coin that has been kept in a drawer or a jar of change for a couple of years. Fine condition Coins are well preserved, meaning they have minimal wear and tear with clear details that are still sharp and easily legible. For the 1999 penny, collectors will closely examine the texture and clarity of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, the clarity of Lincoln's portrait, and the state of the inscriptions like "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." A penny in this condition is not just valuable because of the year, but because it can reflect the artistry and craftsmanship that went into its creation. Now you may be wondering, what exactly makes the 1999 penny so special? While 1999 may seem like a relatively common year, the value of a 1999 1-cent coin largely comes down to a couple of key factors. First and foremost, there's the potential for rare minting errors. These errors, while not widespread, do happen from time to time during the production of coins. For example, in some cases, the 1999 penny could have been struck with a misaligned die, resulting in a coin with off-center features. Such errors make the coin unique, which increases its value among collectors. Additionally, there were different types of finish on the 1999 pennies. Some were produced with a higher quality finish, making them even more desirable to collectors. These variants add an extra layer of rarity, and the more pristine the coin, the higher its potential value. Another element that can significantly increase the value of the 1999 penny is its grade. Coin grading is an essential part of the hobby and trade where coins are assigned a grade based on their condition. A coin in fine condition typically has moderate wear, with some of the finer details softened but still discernible. However, if you're lucky enough to find a 1999 penny that has been graded as MS or PR, meaning it's in uncirculated or near perfect condition, that coin could be worth significantly more. In fact, there have been reports of some high-quality 1999 pennies being sold for hundreds of dollars, sometimes even more, when they're in exceptional condition or carry a rare minting error. It's also worth noting that the value of coins can fluctuate based on market demand. Coin collectors or numismatists are always on the lookout for rare coins, and sometimes a specific penny could be in demand due to historical events or trends within the collecting community. In the case of the 1999 penny, it's not just about the coin itself but the overall context. The 1999 penny was struck during the final year of the 20th century, a moment that's become somewhat symbolic for collectors, adding to its appeal. Additionally, let's not overlook the importance of provenance. A 1999 penny that has been part of a well-known collection or has a documented history can see its value surge. Coins that have been passed down through generations or those that have been featured in significant auctions can attract higher bids simply because they carry a story with them. Even if the coin itself isn't in perfect mint condition, its backstory can make it highly sought after by investors and collectors alike. Let's now talk about the actual process of finding a valuable 1999 penny. If you've got a jar of old coins sitting around, you may want to start sifting through them to see if there's a hidden gem among the pennies. But before you go on a treasure hunt, it's important to remember that not every 1999 penny is valuable. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. Most 1999 pennies are worth just 1 cent. However, if you happen to stumble upon a penny that's in fine condition, or better yet, one with a minting error or unique finish, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Once you've found your coin, it's advisable to get it professionally graded. Coin grading is typically done by third-party services like the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. And there you have it, 6 ultra-rare and highly valuable 1-cent coins that every collector dreams of adding to their collection. Whether it's due to minting error, low mintage numbers, or historical significance, these coins represent more than just a small piece of currency. They're part of a rich legacy in American numismatics. Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more coin-related content. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.